Hello world, welcome to Farm the Market. This is the weekly stock market recap. Let's review some of the things that I found the most interesting during the week. VIX Futures in backwardation again. On the weekly stock market recap for the week ending on December 3rd, 2021, I pointed out that the contango streak for the front 2 months of the VIX Futures held since January 27, 2021 was broken. It took almost a year, 214 trading days for that to happen. Although it went back into contango the next day, as it does most of the time, it's always an event worth noting in my opinion. Well, that event happened again this past Friday. This time it only took 33 trading days. During that period, from December 3rd, 2021 to January 21, 2022, the SPX is down about 3.1%. And we got a drawdown of about 8.8% from the all-time high. Also, it's worth noting that it has been a very choppy period in the markets. As I always say, no single metric can tell you the whole story, but it's interesting the VIX futures curve is so erratic. VIX did not close above 30. Again, referring to the last backwardation event on the VIX futures, at that time the VIX was above 30.66 to be precise. I don't consider the VIX on its own to be a particularly relevant metric, but a lot of people follow it and pay close attention to certain round levels, like 15, 20, and 30, for example. What I find interesting this week is that now that the current drawdown on the SPX is almost 9%, the VIX didn't manage to close above 30. It is stopped at 28.84. You might think the numbers are relatively close and it's not a big deal, but consider that the last time we had the backwardation event, the accumulated drawdown on the SPX was just 4.35%, about half of what we have right now. SPX weekly expected move was destroyed. Using round numbers, the options market was expecting the SPX to move between 4,574 and 4,746 points for the week. That was implying a move of about 86 points either way. The actual move was 265 points to the downside. That's almost 3.1 times the expected move. That's a huge move. It cannot be understated. Obviously, the stock market doesn't follow a normal distribution. Extreme events occur more frequently. But still, a 3 sigma move is very rare and is something to take note of. Also consider there were only 4 trading days this week. It should be no surprise that compared to the last week's expected move, for this week the market is expecting about 150 points move either way, almost double. Once again, comparing numbers with the last backwardation event that I already mentioned, that week, the XPX wasn't even close to breaking the weekly expected move. So, what's the message here? I guess the point of this video is to communicate concern. The market conditions are deteriorating fast. On the last weekly recap video I made, I talked about how most of the pain was concentrated on the hyper-growth stocks. But now the broader market is starting to get hit. The VIX futures going into backwardation. The same week, the weekly expected move for the SPX is destroyed. And the VIX is not really reacting that much if we compare it with recent moves. If we put all that together, it's a little bit disconcerting. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a bounce in the market next week. But if these metrics, among others, don't improve considerably, or even worse, keep deteriorating, the correction could accelerate fast. I cannot tell anyone what to do, but I like doing these videos to share my thoughts and hopefully make you ask yourself some questions about how you handle your trading and investing, particularly in an environment like this one. The market has been generous for almost 2 years, since the Fed started printing money like crazy. It might be a good time to question how good you have really been at investing or trading during this period, or if you were just lucky to be able to participate in a nice and comfortable wave. especially now that the Fed is hawkish. Particularly if you are leveraged, it might be a good time to take a good look at your positions and reassess. If you found this information useful and interesting, please don't forget to like this video. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Remember that everything presented here is for educational purposes only. Thanks for your time.